Hi friends, do you want to draw this cute little frog illustration? Then follow this tutorial. Let's select the monoline brush from the calligraphy brush set and under actions menu, canvas, turn on the drawing guide and select the symmetry option. Let's select the first color from the palette and let's make sure the drawing assist is on. Draw a shape like this. Very much equivalent to an egg shape. Using the transformation tool and warp option, try to adjust the outline as per your need. I am happy with this. Drag and fill with color. Create a new layer and drag it underneath and turn on the drawing assist. Let's try to add the legs. Try to close the edges and fill it with color. Let's create one more layer and drag it underneath. Reduce the opacity of layer 1 in order to draw the feet of the frog. Make sure the drawing assist is on for the newly created layer in which we are drawing this feet. Drag and drop the color. Now increase the opacity of the main layer. Adjust the edges of the feet. Now create a new layer on top of the layer 1 and turn on the drawing assist and select the white color to draw the eyes. Edit the shape to circle, fill it with the color. Create a new layer on top of the background layer and select the second color from the palette. Let's select the soft brush from the airbrush and start painting the background. Let's cover the outside part of the layer first. Let's select the third color and let's paint in the middle. Now in the color palette, move the slider towards the left and select a light green color. I have attached that color in the color palette. You can download it directly and use it. And start painting in the middle. Let's select the smudge option, water brushes, and in that wet glaze brush. And try to smudge the colors. It gives a glaze effect. Try to blend the colors. Now create a new layer on top of layer 1 and activate the clipping mask and select the Dune 1 texture brush from the brush set and using the second color from the color palette, draw the shadows. Now select the fourth color from the color palette and with the same brush, try to add the highlights on the right side of the frog main body. Press gently and add highlights like this. Let's add a new layer on top of layer 2 and activate the clipping mask and we will repeat the process of adding shadows and highlights to the layer. Using the second color from the color palette, draw the highlights between the legs and body, something like this, and similarly in the right hand side. As you can see, the right hand side is fully focused towards the light, so we need to add little shadow in the right hand side when compared to the left hand side. Add more highlights to the right hand side. Let's create a new layer on top of layer 3 and activate the clipping mask and try to add the shadows and highlights. I am giving highlights first in the right leg and then slight highlights in the left leg, and with the second color from the color palette, draw the shadows. Let's create a new layer on top of layer 4 and activate the clipping mask and select the texture brush Dune, and from the color palette select the fifth color and start adding some shadows on the eye. And select the fourth color from the color palette and slightly add some highlights. Now create a new layer and we are going to draw the eyeball. Select black color from the palette and monoline brush and activate the drawing assist. Now draw a circle like this. You can always move the position using the transformation tool. So move it a little bit up and fill it with black color. Select the white color from the palette and add another layer and try to draw highlights on the eye. I am using the monoline brush. Now select the black color and try to draw mouth. This looks cute. Now let's go to layer 1 and create a new layer on top of that. This will be a clipped mask layer, and select fourth color from the color palette and draw the middle part. Using the warp tool, try to adjust the body shape. I am dragging the layer up because the shadow layer which we have created is falling on that. So I am dragging it upwards and filling it with the white color. Let's select the fifth color from the color palette and activate alpha lock on this layer. Using the same texture brush, try to add some shadows. Let's group all these layers. And reposition its size. Create a new layer and drag it underneath the group. And select the gray color. Using the studio pen, we will draw the stone. We are assuming that the frog is sitting on a stone. Try to close the edges and fill it with the color. Let's create a new layer again and drag it underneath. We are going to draw the ground. Select the first color from the third row of the palette and draw a shape something like this. Drag and drop the color. I am just repositioning it. I am drawing the leaves in the same layer and fill it with color. You can draw any shapes for the leaves. Let's create a new layer on top of layer 14 and try to add some stones near the rock. Select the brown color and draw these small stones. I have included all the colors in the color palette, so you can directly use it. Now let's draw some highlights to the small stones. Select soft airbrush and light yellow color and activate the clipping mask by creating a new layer and try to add some highlights. Consider that the light is coming from the right side and little bit of shadow at the bottom. Create a new layer on top of layer 14 and activate the clipping mask and select the second color in the second row from the palette, and in the industrial color palette select the concrete brush and draw the highlights. Let's create a new layer and select the green color from the palette, and using the studio pen let's draw some grasses. Now let's go to layer 15 and create a new layer with clipping mask, and in the textures select grunge and start adding some shades. Now select fourth color from the palette and try to add few highlights on the leaf as well. Now let's go to organic brush set and click on clay option and try to add some shades on that lawn. Now select the fourth color from the third row of the palette and try to add some shades in the left side. Let's create a new layer on top of layer 5 and select the blue color from the palette, and using the studio pen try to draw the pond. Drag and drop the color. Create a new layer and activate the clipping mask. And I am trying to select a lighter shade because I personally feel the pond color is little dark, so I am taking a lighter shade. Let's select lighter white color, and in the elements brush set, select the oceans brush and try to add the texture. My video brightness is little high, that's why all the colors look bright and more of a white tone. Sorry for the inconvenience. I hope you like this video. If you like, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.